So yeah, I think before we start, we want to make a small exercise. And also today, we are going a little bit more from theory to praxis. And yeah, we thought about a small warm-up.
So as we know, it was a long day for everyone. And so what we want to know is so when we mention actually like an AI that you're using, then you stand up. If you're not using it, then you just stay seated. If I missed something that at the end of the day, I will just mention 3 actually. So then you just shout it at me and then we maybe learn something. That would be amazing. Okay, let's start.
Always happy to learn things.
Always. So let's get started with perplexity. 1, 2, 3. Wow, okay, I actually did not expect that. Very good, nice. So let's go further with Vertex, Google.
Gemini
Also
counts.
Ooh, we are getting there, yeah.
Very good.
Very good, thank you. Okay, and then let's do...
I want to do the last one.
You want to do the last one?
Yes, please.
Let's do it.
Okay, who heard already about ChatGPT? Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Let's get started.
So yeah, exactly. Let's skip with the title. So, Kalimera. My name is Benjamin. I'm the CTO of Engel Völkers, heading around 120 people. And we are here today to talk about AI and also talk about how we practically implement AI into our business.
So I'm Philipp. I'm the product counterpart of Benjamin. And so also now with Engel Völkers since about 4 years. Was here already last year, and because it was so great, and you were such a great audience, we decided, okay, we're just coming in. And I'm on the product side, and we want to give you some insights about how we are working actually with AI in our company.
Very good. So who knows Engel Völkers? Oh, that's more than I have expected.
More people than Perplexity.
That's
so
true.
It's good.
So we're in between the Perplexity and Gemini. That's great. No, so Engel Völkers, just to give you a brief background, who we are is a real estate company. We are basically matching buyers and sellers. We have around about 16,000 agents worldwide, a lot of offices. And the industry is very, very analog. So that's why around about 3 years ago, we built up the Engel Völkers Technology. We hired a lot of software engineers and also UI/UX designers, product managers, QA, to build up various software for ourselves. So it's an in-house software development company. And basically, now 50% of their HQ staff in Hamburg, so we are a Hamburg-based company, 50% of the people now work for the technology. So it's a big shift inside our company. And just to give you a little bit more background, the 2 main products we're developing is on the one side, the CRM system. So this is basically where all the new leads are coming in or the clients are coming in. And we have all the properties in, so we match people to properties and can tell you basically what is the right property. And another big platform we're building up is the website, which also consists of many different applications. One of them is, for example, a valuation tool. So if you own a house, you can enter the data about your house, and we will tell you how much it is worth. And we will tell you today a little bit about how we integrate AI in the different products and also in our workflows. And maybe one surprise is that we, this year, want to found in our Athens office a tech hub. And so if you're interested in getting in touch with us, please save our LinkedIn and let's start a discussion, because we recognize that in Hamburg we gathered all the talent who wants to work for us. So now we're building up a tech hub here in Greece, and I'm very excited about this, and hopefully in 3 years it will be also 50% of the stuff there.
That's the goal. I like it. Cool, let's get started. So what we saw actually is what we give you a little bit an overview. So what is actually the starting line that we had when we started implementing AI into our applications, and also how do we run a little bit the analysis on understanding what do we actually need in that sense, because it was also a lot of buzz around AI, it still is, And so where we started is actually, you need to know, it's a company that is almost 50 years on the market. And it is a very organically grown company. So we had a lot of legacy systems actually within our company spread across the globe. And we had to fight a lot with complexity. You know, like you have systems that are 20 years old, you have like systems that are even older. And then you need to find the nice mix between innovation with AI, but also on the other hand, like removing actually all the legacy tools that we have in place. So when we look, one of the first items that we identified is, and maybe you did it exactly the same because it's it's normal actually. So every one of you maybe started before the company even thought about using AI within actually their daily working routines. So you started like doing like some first prompting, you maybe started trying some first image generators, you maybe started connecting to the first available API on GPT. So it was always driven by individuals, actually. So people and companies did not start and say, okay, let's do AI, and everyone was like, huh, what is that about? So it was more like driven always by individuals. But at the end of the day, what we saw is that those early initiatives from everyone were actually the starting point for us. So we collected a lot of knowledge and understanding from each of the individuals that were actually dealing with the AI systems by themselves. So this is the starting point that we had. Second part is that the adoption is never driven actually by the systems. So never the company said, we now do it, but the individuals drive them. So every product manager or engineer had an idea, what can we do, and what can we start with? So more important was then for us actually to identify, okay, how can we implement a framework that allows us to actually integrate AI on our roadmaps and also to coordinate the staffing and the resourcing on how to implement AI and make it really work on a global scale. Scalability was actually a little bit the limitation also. So if you don't have like a team or an infrastructure in place that allows you to scale the usage of AI within your organization, it's pretty hard actually to do that. So what we found like a cross-functional AI team. So it's a team of 6 people, who is actually dealing with product managers, but also with engineers from our data team, who started like building the baseline, where Benjamin will show you a little bit also the architecture on how we implemented it and how we worked it out. So that we have reusable components on one hand, but also that we have governance in place. And for us, it was always about prioritization, because at the end of the day, what you identify, there are a lot of great ideas. So every individual of you had a great idea, what can we do with AI, but we needed to prioritize. So we prioritized based on the leaps that we could win from AI in terms of productivity for our real estate agents. So this was the first goal that we had there, and also for our internal operations. So that's what we started, and then actually based on that model, or the prioritization, you start working very focused along and delivering along the roadmap. And last but not least, I think an important part that we said is like, it's not about assistance, but it's not about automation, it's more about assistance.
Thank you, Philipp. Yeah, so I think this is one of the main learnings also for me, that AI can automate a lot of things, but in the end, you, at least until now, and I also believe in the next couple of years, you always need a human to verify results, to interact with the AI. So also for our users, for example, I told you before, that we are a real estate company, so we now have an AI expose generator, which is an interactive generator and allows the agent to really refine the prompt and refine which things he wants to have in the expose, and then basically the generator will produce it based on the input of the agent. Another thing what we learned is that it's not enough to just use ChatGPT or Perplexity or Vertex. The best results we will get if we get as much other data sources into the AI as possible. And we built up a framework, which you can see on the slide behind, where we have gathered different data sources together, our own data from our own data lake. We have a lot of history at Engel Völkers, so we have a lot of properties where we can feed the AI with, but also data from third-party services. For example, We have Sprengnetter, which can provide us with pricing. We have the Google Maps API, which can provide us with location data, which schools are around this address, or which restaurants are around this address, or about the infrastructure. And we basically build a framework where we take the different parts of information we need and generate a prompt in the background, send it then to ChatGPT or another AI, get back the results and interpret it in our own software, so that we really can get the most valuable results out to the user.
And saying that, so we also want to show you like some some tangible examples what we implemented actually so far. And I want to start actually with lead scoring and also give you a little bit of background on why we started or why we decided to do that actually. So, and that's a little bit coming back to that framework that we just mentioned before. So you need to know like when you have like a lot of sources where you're receiving a lot of leads over, like in Spitogatos in Greece or Idealista in Italy or in Spain. So it's like a lot of noise that gets created. So you have a lot of Mickey Mouses and a lot of Donald Ducks that are interested in evaluation of their property or that want to buy 10 million euro property, which maybe they're not able to afford. So you have a lot of noise. And AI actually, in that case, helped us to perform actually a so-called lead scoring. So the lead scoring helps at the end of the day our agents, our real estate agent and also our call center agents to identify what are actually valuable leads and what are the leads that we should prioritize first, rather than calling the wrong leads first, which maybe do not bring actually the value. So what we did there is like together with our private equity investors from Permira, a small team of the AI team also there, together with them, we created a lead scoring function in our own built CRM system. And the lead scoring does actually the following. So it analyzes actually all the data noise that was created by someone who was visiting our website, who was doing a request actually over a portal, analyzing that and filtering out, based on that noise, what actually makes that particular contact relevant for Engel Völkers. So, and this is something what a human could never do, because it's like too many data points that you need to take care about. So this is why we trained actually our own system and our own platform for that, so to really at the end of the day come up with something that shows the call center agents, but also the real estate agents, okay, is this a valuable lead or not? And this actually adds a lot of value, because the first 10 minutes are the most critical one to close a deal. So the hotter a lead is, the more value you get out of it from the end of the day.
Yes, exactly. So as Philipp said, like the first 10 minutes are crucial. So that means if you get a new lead in, and it's also assistant, so the user still needs to decide, but the likelihood to get further in the deal is much higher to call within the first 10 minutes, because somebody is still on the computer, still looking at the property, rather than calling hours later. So this is really crucial for a business. Another example is the regional contingent, and unfortunately a big screenshot is missing, but I will tell you all about it so you can imagine.
Try it one more. It's magic.
Try one more? Wow, Philipp, thank you. You did it?
It's AI. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so that's the screenshot, so I don't need to tell you all about it. No, but actually this one I'm really proud about, and we kind of copied it from booking.com. Every one of you probably knows booking.com. So what we did is that we generate a lot of pages on a website. So now we are going from the CRM system to the website for Google and also for our customers. And we always use location plus keyword. And location can be Athens, for example, and keyword can be buy a house in. So we build a page that says buy a house in Athens, and also more regional and smaller suburbs, but also on a bigger scale. And we fill this page with a lot of content, what we have. Like we have the properties, obviously, which we display there, so you see all the houses. But we also show the market data, so statistics, how much euros do you need to pay per square meter, how many houses did we sell, so our own data in the past, how visible are we in this market, which shops are around of Engel Völkers, and a lot of data. And this is, creates a very relevant page also for Google. And then when the users, when you want to buy a house, what you enter in Google, you enter, I want to buy a house in Athens. So you will find exactly this page, and it ranks really, really high, and was a big value driver for us in the company. So yeah, probably applies to many businesses, but I can really recommend to invest a little bit in this because it creates a big uplift in organic traffic, basically the traffic which is for free, which comes on the website just by Google.
As we don't speak Greek, you can try it out maybe also if it works in Greek very well. So give us a note, so Engel Völkers by Haus Assens, so and then let us know.
We don't even know what it is in Greek.
Yes, you know.
But we have it multi-language, and yeah, obviously
Great.
You can also find it in Greek.
Cool. It's another trick we need to do here, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now I know it.
Cool. So also listing text generation and translation. So you need to imagine the following situation, and that's also led a little bit so what we did the research on. So we analyzed like where are users actually, our agents spending a lot of time in, or our team assistants are spending a lot of time in. And we found out that not every real estate agent is a Shakespeare, maybe.
Yeah, so you need to know the barrier to be a real estate agent is not very high. So basically, it's also in the sense of the business. We try to recruit a lot of people who want to be a real estate agent, and then basically the best people who are good sales, they will earn a lot of money, and the people who are not good in sales, they don't earn a lot of money. So we have a lot of rotation in the business because many people are joining, and we will keep the best, and the people who are not successful, they will leave the company eventually. And this means that our systems really need to be bulletproof for agents. So onboarding is important. It's important to be intuitive as possible because there will always be new users, and also it's important to get the quality up. Everywhere, everything which is user-facing, and the end user will see it in the expose and everything. We really need to invest a lot of time and efforts and processes to get the quality up, and this is one of the tools we invented.
Yes, and so at the end of the day, what happened is like that it takes for some people really long to write actually those property description texts. So that was like a lever where we said, like, okay, let's build an assistant for our real estate agents, but also for the assistants in the background that allow actually the translation easily and also create actually the text for the property, but, and that's the more complicated part, also the text for the location description below. So you need a lot of data points again to write proper location description texts. And that is also done now via AI by our, with the support from AI by our agents. And important is, it's again an assistant along an existing customer journey and helps a lot and heavily used now within our markets.
So you see a little bit of screenshot here. The agent enters a lot of basic data, like the square meters, number of rooms, and so on, and this will all be taken into the prompt in the end, and also the location information, as you mentioned before, from Google Maps and other services to then generate this text. And the big benefit is, of course, you can also easily translate it, so you have it in all different kind of languages. Next. Okay, so we were talking a lot about the product. Now I want to, because I'm a developer by heart, I want to talk a little bit about the process, how to get there. And it's also, I think, we are very practical people. We don't need a lot of theory around it. I just show you a few tools, what we are working with, and probably many of you know them already. That's not a surprise, and give you some background about it. So this example shows a relatively simple feature. So we are building a new website. The private office website is one of our verticals where we want to get a search field so you can search for things. So what we did is that we first iterate the idea or brainstorm this idea with Atlassian AI, which is integrated in Jira. That's our collaboration tool which we are using. And then the more interesting part is that we use Replit. It's a no-code AI platform, and it's really brilliant. You can just enter, okay, I want to get a search field for private office. I'm Engel Völkers, and the AI will generate you a prototype. So this is what you see here. And what you see is that the AI thinks a lot about your idea. So we only give a very general prompt that I want to have a search field, But if you look in detail, AI already knows, okay, for private office, you want to search for agents, probably, but you also want to search for locations. So if you enter Paris now in this prototype, you see, okay, this agent or the advisor, André Parisian, and then you see, of course, the city Paris. And why I'm such a fan of this is because this will shift the effort from the development side to the product side in the beginning. So you will get the refined ideas in much more detail, much earlier. And this will speed up your whole development process, obviously, because usually, if some of our product managers, I know you're all better than that, but usually the product managers just write in a ticket, please program me a search field for the private office website. And then the developer thinks, okay, yeah, but we have agents and we have cities, how does it work? And then he develops something, and then it goes back to testing, and the product manager says, no, I want to now also include whatever. So we have a working prototype very early, which we don't use in production. It's not so good yet, but which is a good basis to iterate the idea and make it much better. So try it out. If you haven't tried out Replit, try it out. I can only recommend it. And then the next step is, and there are similar tools, so, I have very good experience with Replit. And the next step is then the development, the software development. It's more or less traditional software development. We have engineers working with IDEs, but they're now switching also to modern IDEs, which have AI agents integrated already. So we started with Copilot, it's more on the basic side, and now Cursor and Windsurf, and is especially popular among our developers to speed up many of the boring tasks and focus really on the business value. And in the end, that's the final product, and you see it looks very similar, even with the title, Meet Your Private Office Advisor. We also took this from the prototype and the search. So this is just one example how we integrate AI in our software development process.
And maybe like as an intro for what is coming next, I think what is cool is like, okay, now that's all on development side and also on product side, but also like our marketing team got quite inspired actually by start using AI. And you need to know, like we are like a company globally with multiple locations, about 1,000 shops, 16,000 agents, very diverse, people from around the world. And the real estate market is something that is very local. So a house in Greece looks different than a house in Austria or in Germany. So at the end of the day, you have a lot of local nuances. So that would mean our marketing team would need to jump on a plane and do filming and blah, 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 which costs really a lot of money then at the end of the day to get actually the right properties for TV spots or also for YouTube spots or TikTok. So what they started with is
AI.
AI.
Yes.
Crazy.
So I will show you now a video, and this video was fully created by AI, and we use it actually for our advertisement. So fingers crossed that it works.
One more.
One more? Really? And this is also a game changer for us because before it was impossible. You need drone shots, you need a lot of editing work to get it in this quality. And it's still not perfect. If you look very closely, and on the big screen probably you'll notice it a little bit better. But for TikTok and for like the Instagram and the social media, it's just perfect. And we have now, we can create like a video every week. And what we do is that we generate basically the pictures via ChatGPT or Midjourney. And then we have an outline of the video, so it's like a storyboard to say, okay, this is the first scene, the second scene, third scene. Then we still Photoshop the pictures, because sometimes you have too less fingers, too many fingers. You know the problem. And then we put this one into Runway, or a similar tool, to create small video sequences out of it. And together with some post-editing is basically what you can see. And this allows us to be much quicker And also we have Christmas campaigns. We have different campaigns which are very bespoke to some event and can be created with AI very easily, very nicely. So it's also, I can talk a lot about this.
But it's also looking good. So next and last, actually, then we come to a small Q&A, so prepare your questions wisely. So beyond the build, I think like it's a short overview on, hey, what we are actually looking into. Keep this short. So yes, AI delivers value, but it's actually not magic. So AI itself is magic sometimes, but it's not really also sometimes overestimated what the exception is from expectation is actually from there. So create an AI portfolio and really stay focused on working along that portfolio that you create. Can be a simple Excel sheet. Collaborate is essential and clear ownership is critical. So what we learned is we told you we had like a central AI team, but still it's very important that the owners of the product, even when there is an AI team somewhere in the background, take full responsibility and ownership for the outcome actually of what the AI team and what the prompts are actually doing at the end of the day. And keep feedback loops to turn your AI actually even more useful and impactful, because at the end of the day, we heard this also before, it's about iteration, it's about the feedbacks from the user that actually make then the tools that you build better and better over time. And last but not least,
engineers, product managers, please join us in building up a tech hub in Greece. We're very excited about this. You find the email address here, but you can also reach out on LinkedIn or anything. So if you're interested just to get a chat or figure out what we have planned here, I would be very happy to connect. Are there any questions? Yes, please.
Thank you for the presentation, very interesting. Have you considered any compliance or regulations related to AI or data privacy and integrated that to the design process?
Yes, it's a very good question. And we do consider this a lot, actually. So as an international company, we also have not a too small legal team. And they're also very curious about this. So what we are looking for the employees, that we are always using an enterprise version of the AI software, which is not used for training. And for the customer or for products, we are careful with incorporating personal data. So we try to avoid including personal data, because that's always then GDPR, that's more critical. We are not so critical with sharing, for example, source code, because it's our own creation, and we believe that in the worst case, even source code gets leaked. Other people, they do different businesses, they can't adapt it one-to-one, so we're not so worried about this. But we have also some guidances in place, and our legal team, we did them together with our legal team to have some kind of framework. That said, it's still relatively open, so we still try to have the startup spirit, as you maybe can also tell from how we interact, how we adopt new technologies, because I just think this is important to be up to speed and to be ahead of the wave. So we try to be on the more open side than the more strict side. Yeah, please?
Hi, what kind of tool are you using for translations?
For translations, and we are also using ChatGPT. We sometimes have some issues with the length of the text, and then we are actually switching to Google Translate or having some hacky workaround to have it possible to extend the prompt so that you not extend the prompt, but you have multiple prompts then having multiple translations. But it was actually a problem. We tried to do everything in ChatGPT in the beginning. It didn't work out because of the length of the prompt. Sometimes the texts are just too long. Yes, so it's all assistants. You will see the output and you need to confirm it as an agent. It's nothing completely automated. And we also display on the website that it contains AI-generated text. So we have a flag which the agent can then deactivate if he feels very confident that the text is correct. So he can deactivate it, and then we don't show it on the website. I think we're over time already, but we will be around. So yeah, thank you a lot.
Thank you.
See you next time.